4D Clamshell Acrylic Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish.
Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to be showing you a very extremely 4D, 3D, because it sits completely on top of the nail, clam that opens up, and inside there's a little pearl inside. And it's actually very easy to do. The whole inside is just a breeze to do. The outside does take a little bit more time, but it's really a fairly simple. If you want to get into making the hinges and you want to try something that has a hinge and opens like this one I would say is on the easier side because there's not really that much detail on it. It's pretty simple as far as that goes. And even if you guys didn't want to make it like an opening thing, you could easily just make the little shapes, the little 3D pieces, the little clam halves, and use them instead of using the pre-made shell embellishments. There's a lot of them out there and they do look amazing, and I do use them because they are really cool. But if you wanted to make them yourself, you could use just the half shell instructions to make that. And I'm also going to be showing you a couple new studs and these gradient half pearls that I just got. And I'll put links to those in the description box below, as well as a really nice new light. I always have issues with my lighting. This light is solving a lot of my issues, and so I will be putting, I'll do a lot of information on that, and there's a link to that one in the description box below as well. So if you make videos, I would highly recommend this little guy. The light itself is extremely easy to use, small, portable, rechargeable, so you don't have to have a cord in your way. It's amazing. So definitely, like I said, if you do want to make videos, check that out, because that's something that is possibly going to help improve the lighting in your videos and make things look a little bit better. So that is it for now. I hope you guys like this design, and don't forget to click subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you don't miss any of my future videos as well.
So here's that little light that I mentioned, and like I said, it is rechargeable, so it just has a cord that you plug in to the outlet, and I don't know for sure how long it takes to charge it, but I found that I could get the light to last about a day's worth of work, so say 6-8 hours, and that it worked that whole time without any issues. It does progressively get less bright throughout the day, so like if I stop for lunch, I will plug it in quick, just, you know, give it a little boost. But it's all bendy, and it's got all these different hinges on it, and it's, like I said, super portable, super compact. Here's the cord for it, so it just plugs into the back. And it's got 2 brightnesses on it, so it's got like a level 1 and a level 2. It's just, I can't even explain to you how much I love this light. And then here are the 2 wheels that I will be showing you. So the first one has all kinds of just metal studs. There's different colors. There's gold, silver, and then black. There's not too many that are black, but there's different shapes, and then it's just kind of a mix of things, you know, just kind of a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're looking to get some new stuff, that's kind of cool. And then here are the gradient ones. The pearls themselves, these aren't actually they're not super iridescent or anything, but they are just kind of cute because they are a gradient, so I like those. And there's a nice little variety of sizes in there. So to start the nail, I'm going to begin with an overlay of aqua acrylic, and all of that stuff is from Banggood. All of the lights from Banggood, as well as the studs and the studs and the pearls, and there are links to them, like I said, in the description box below. So just create that overlay over the top of the entire nail. For whatever reason, this acrylic I was using has a couple little pigment bursts in it, so I was trying to get rid of those if you were wondering what the heck was going on with my coloring on that. And then I took and I grabbed a bead of clear acrylic, dipped into some sequins, and I did teal sequins over the top, and then encased the entire thing with a layer of clear acrylic. So that's just the quick little thing about, or, you know, you want to make sure you encase them, because otherwise you're just going to file off your sequins. So now I'm going to be filing the nail into shape with my e-file. The good thing about those sequins is that they are kind of clear, so if you do happen to file into them, they're just going to disappear. It's not that they're going to turn silver or gross looking, but they are just going to kind of go away. So then I'm going to roll a piece, I'm using poster putty, into a ball, and then wrap it tightly with plastic wrap. Then I'm going to pinch it so it's a little bit of a rounded triangle shape, so not too pinched, almost more like a guitar pick. Think of it, yeah, it's a good comparison. It's like a guitar pick. So you just want to slightly pinch the one end of it. And then I'm going to be sculpting one half of my clamshell. And so I used a coral color, but you could really kind of play around with the coloring on this. You could do whatever you'd like. So I sculpted one half of it at a time. So I'm going to sculpt half. So you don't want to go very far around your little guitar pick shape, just so that it has a nice slight curve around the entire thing. And so just do a nice little layer of acrylic around that. Let that, you kind of have to hold it for a second until it starts to set, but then you can pop it off and make 2 of those. So now on just one half, so that makes the 2 halves, on just one of them, this is going to be the top of it, you're going to be making the little scalloped appearance on the shell. So just put down another layer of that corally peach color acrylic, and then start drawing in those little bumps. So I did like the front part of it. I didn't want to do the whole thing in one bead. I thought it'd just be easier to kind of do it half and half so that I could work a little bit slower and have a little bit more time with it. So then add a second bead to the back of it, kind of pat that out and blend it over the top of the ones that you just did, and then just continue your lines. It's pretty easy to just kind of blend them together. It doesn't take too much. If you do have a couple spaces where you can tell that it wasn't all one piece, you can take a little bit more of that color acrylic and just kind of cover up and make sure. You want your bumps and your scallops to be relatively deep, because now we are applying a layer of no wipe gel top coat, thin layer over the top of both halves of your shell. And like I said, very thin. You don't want to fill in those gaps, or your bumps, but it is going to happen a little bit. After that's cured, you're going to want to take some gold chrome powder and burnish that into that so that it has a really iridescent, gorgeous, chromy appearance. That clamshell top of it, it kind of reminds me of the unicorn horn nails that you see. Remove the extra dust, apply a layer of gel sealer over the top of that, and then cure that. So like I said, you want to make sure that those grooves on your shell are really deep so that all these layers that are going on top of it aren't going to completely fill in and make them disappear. Now on both the top and the bottom of your clamshell, you're going to want to just create right at the back on that back point. You're going to want to create a little half circle. So now on the bottom half of your shell, put a little bit of nail glue down, grab a gold bead, and you might want to use a tweezers or something to help you so you don't get yourself glued to your clamshell, and glue that into that little half circle that you made. So now you're going to have it where it's just a little bead sticking up, and it is going to stick up out of the clamshell. And I did secure that with some acrylic. I don't trust nail glue, so add a little bit of acrylic just to make sure that it is going to stay. Bend a little piece of fine wire into a U shape, and then string that through your bead, and then you're going to want to glue that or use some of the more of the colored acrylic, and you're going to want to attach the ends of that little piece of wire to the top half of your shell. So the bead is attached to the bottom half and the wire is attached to the top half through the bead. And I know that's kind of a process. That part actually is a little bit, dealing with the wire sometimes is a bit of a headache, but it's not too bad. Just make sure that after it's glued in place, you do secure it with some of the acrylic, because otherwise it's not going to hold very well. So now put another bead of that corally acrylic right in the front of either half. It doesn't really matter which one you do first. And then attach a magnet so that the magnet is you want it to be flat. So if you were to set this down, it would be just perfectly flat against the tabletop. So just kind of add the acrylic around there. Make sure that it's propped up so that it's just a flat surface. Add another magnet on top of it after the acrylic is set. Mark the top of that magnet, so the part that's showing. Take that magnet off. You're going to want to have it close by. You're going to need it in just a moment. And then add that other magnet to the other half of your clamshell. So same thing, put down some acrylic, and then pick up your magnet after your acrylic is just starting to set. You don't want to do it right away because it's just going to sink in. But after the acrylic is starting to set down that magnet so that the marked side, that sharpied side, is down into the acrylic and the unmarked side is up. So that way, and you can just eyeball it to make sure that it's basically directly across from the magnet on the other side. It'll be close enough. And then once you fold later, when you test out your thing, and when you fold together, it'll snap shut and it'll hold shut with the two magnets. It'll keep it together. So then fill in with just a very thin layer of a darker shade of pink acrylic. You can same thing, you can kind of play around with this. You don't have to use a specific color to fill in your clam. This is kind of an artsy clamshell. You can kind of do whatever you like with it. And then when you have the bottom, in the part that's in the bottom half, this acrylic, when it starts to set, you're going to want to just create a little indent in it for your pearl to set in. So I just took the back of my brush that was dipped into some acrylic so that it wouldn't stick, and I just created that little circle indent. Glue two half pearls together. So this is going to create your whole pearl, even though half pearls aren't completely halves, so you don't have a perfect circle here because it's a little bit weirdly shaped, but it's close enough to a circle. And then pick up that little circle pearl that you made and set it into that indent inside the clamshell. Glue your clam to your nail. I glued it pretty close to the tip actually, because I want to do a little bit of embellishing around the cuticle area. So just glue it down, and then you're going to want to fill in around just that little connection between the nail and the clam with some clear acrylic so that it stays really well. And then take some gel sealer or some builder gel or any kind of clear gel, and you're going to want to attach. So I start out with one of those gradient half pearls, which is a purple to blue. I thought it's just gorgeous. And then a gold long petal shaped stud that's out of that set, and I'm going to set that down. So now I've got that, and then I have some little pink, or kind of like a purpley pink color stud that's the same shape, and then just a little circle stud. So I think So the way that these go, they kind of have the same overall shape as the clamshell, so it kind of goes together. Then add another layer of gel sealer after that's cured over the entire background. Make sure that those sequins really shine because they will look absolutely gorgeous. Cure that again and it's all done. I love this thing. Making the clam was something that I've been wanting to do for a couple weeks, so I was really excited to get to do it. And it would look really nice. You could even make this into a necklace and have it open with a little pearl or a ring, or just you can kind of play around with it. It doesn't have to go on a nail. So if you're making these, you can really figure out different uses for them. So if you do make anything else, I'd love to see it. So please share recreations with me on Facebook or Instagram. I would absolutely love to see them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!